I'm Kate Valentine. This is Keyword, the Amazon Insider podcast. We talk only with former and current Amazon employees to bring you authoritative and insider information to help you run your Amazon business. There's two ways to sell on Amazon. You can do it yourself. This is called third party. Or you can create a vendor account and sell your products directly to Amazon for them to list and sell. So in this episode, we're talking about the differences between those two with Brad Moss. Brad's a former senior product manager at Amazon. He's the guy that ran all of Seller Central, and he also built the Seller Central app. Brad has compared third party and vendor, and he says you should go with third party. And he says one of the big reasons, you'll make more money.
I don't want to sell directly to Amazon. We make higher margins when we sell on a third party platform, and that's the main reason.
You're going to hear Brad use the term 3P a lot in this episode, and that simply means third party. Another reason that Brad likes third party selling is because it gives sellers total control.
The Vendor Express, I think they're trying to make it easy for anyone to sell into Amazon, and not just the big sellers to sell into Amazon. They're trying to make it as easy, and it's confusing because they're different teams, and Amazon doesn't always do the best at marketing and being clear on which message they're sending. But there's a different team that's pushing the retail side of promotions, or to sell as a vendor inside Amazon, which, they'll give you a certain rate and they'll say you have, this much more you can do on your detail page, or we'll do this for you, which, I've heard of very mixed results. Versus a third party where you have a lot more control over, your pricing. You have 100% control. Things like when you do your promotions, you have a little bit more control. You're not working with somebody. I've actually heard of one big client for Amazon on the retail side that said, they're like, hey, we don't want to launch this until this particular day. It needs to launch on this exact day because it to coincide with other things they were doing. And the response they got back was, well, it will launch between this 2-week window. And they were actually a good medium size. It's not like a P&G, but it was a medium sized seller. And they were really frustrated, and they were talking with me about, how do I get around this? I was like, well, that's retail. If you're going to go through Amazon retail, they have the control. I mean, they have to do what they have to do for their business, but that's the model, right? And if you're a third party seller, then you have 100% control. I could go on the app and turn off my sales at any point and turn it back on. That kind of panic mode, vacation mode is what they call it, right? If you want to just pull all your things down temporarily, you can turn on vacation mode and your sales are stopped, or all products are stopped, and then you can turn it back on.
As a quick review, Brad believes the way to make the most money on Amazon is by selling as a third party. You source the products, you create the listings, and you manage the inventory. If you aren't selling FBA, then you are also shipping your products. Coming up, Brad says inside Amazon, the merchant team and the vendor team, they compete. When we come back, he'll tell us how that helps third-party sellers.
This episode of Keyword is brought to you by Product Labs, the easiest way to sell on Amazon. You provide the product, and these Amazon insiders do the rest. They can be found at productlabs.net.
We're focusing this episode on vendor and merchant accounts. They are two different ways to sell on Amazon. And we've been talking with Brad Moss. He's a big advocate for third-party selling, also known as a merchant account. Inside Amazon, two different teams run these selling platforms. And Brad tells us the third-party team and the vendor team, they are very competitive.
Inside Amazon, they actually don't like each other that much. I mean, they're friends, but they're enemies. They're frenemies. It's actually really smart from a business perspective to create the natural tension between the two, because it's pushing both teams to keep innovating on what they're doing. And 3P can do so much for Amazon. All the third-party sellers and the tools that the whole organization has built are really quite great. And the vendors don't like that because they're losing sales and people are dropping sometimes from first party to third party.
Brad's decision to be a third-party seller is based also on his own Amazon experience.
The 3P, the reason I'm very bullish on 3P is also because I work there, right?
Now Brad runs a company called Product Labs. They help companies sell stuff online, including on Amazon. His clients are all third-party sellers.
We give our clients a lot more attention than what a typical vendor manager over at Amazon would do per product, right? We have fewer people per product to focus on the products and work around and use our tools to actually optimize what they're doing.
Thanks to Brad for joining us to talk about vendor and marketplace accounts. Now, a quick recap. Brad says third-party selling is the way to go. He says, number 1, you can make more money. And he also says, number 2, you get to have more control. If there's a topic you want us to talk about with one of our Amazon insiders, let us know. You can find us at keywordpodcast.com.